Alrighty, for this problem it says using f of x equals cosine of x as a guide, graph g of x equals 3 times the cosine of 4x. Identify the amplitude and period. So just kind of as a refresher, this 3 here is our a value, and this 4 is our b value. Now for the amplitude, that's just amplitude a, we get 3. For the period, the formula we have is 2 pi over the absolute value of b. So in this case we get 2 pi over the absolute value of 4, or just 2 pi over 4. Simplified down, we end up with just pi over 2. Alright, now it says using cosine of x as a guide. I'm going to graph that in blue just to kind of give us a baseline. So cosine of x, that just goes up by 1. Now, I always refer to like x equals 0 as the starting point. And cosine graphs, as long as there's no phase shift, they always start at their amplitude at x equals 0. So it's got an amplitude of 1, and it's got a period of 2 pi. So that means it's going to go back up here, reach its peak at 1, or of 1 back at 2 pi. Halfway between there, it's going to reach its lowest point. It's going to cross the x-axis halfway in between there. Now it's going to repeat that same pattern on the other side. Again, completing one full wave in a period of 2 pi. So graphing that, try to make it a nice smooth curve. Hopefully it's a little prettier than mine, but it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to have a good shape to it. So this is just our baseline cosine of x. Our new graph is going to have have an amplitude of 3 instead of 1. So at x equals 0, instead of being at 1, we're going to be up at 3. Now this one's also got a period of pi over 2. That means it's going to complete one full wave between 0 and pi over 2. So that means it starts up at its peak over here. It means by the time it gets to pi over 2, it's going to reach its peak again. And that means halfway between those two peaks has to be your trough, all the way down at -3, because our amplitude is 3. And so, we're going to have x-intercepts halfway between the peaks and the troughs. So this one's a little steeper. And this pattern is just going to keep on repeating over and over and over. So try to keep this pattern going on both sides. Try to hit the dots a little better than I'm doing. Again, it repeats on this side, so I'm just going to go every other point right now. Skip the x-intercepts for a second, and then fill in the x-intercepts. Again, it's still got the same amplitude of 3. The period is just 4 times shorter. That's where that 4 comes from. Again, try to make it as smooth as possible. Mine's not perfect, but try to just make it so that it's obvious that it's a wave, that it's not perfectly straight lines.